Governor Ritter is a principled leader, a man of convictions, the type of leader who does what he believes is the right thing to do for the state of Colorado, even though it's not easy politically. We want our children to have a better life, a better future. And that's why we are committed to working very hard every day, working on the phones, knocking on doors to re-elect Governor Bill Ritter as our governor of the state of Colorado. Now I would like to introduce Teresa Pena.
Hi, thank you. I get to speak about two of my favorite subjects today. One is our Governor Ritter, and two is public education, and specifically from a Denver Public School perspective. I had the opportunity to work with Governor Ritter when he was still the DA in Denver, and he was on our secondary school commission, which has really laid the platform for much of the reforms that we've undertaken in Denver. And what impressed me then is, one, his knowledge of the work that we were doing. And I think it was because his work as DA was so instrumental in helping him understand the opportunities that our children deserve. But he was also there, and even though he had a very important job in Denver, he was at every single meeting. And there were only about 10 of those people who did that. And Governor Ritter was one of those people. But then I also had the opportunity to work with his wife. And Jeannie Ritter was a substitute teacher in Denver Public Schools and was just phenomenal. And if you know Governor Ritter and our First Lady, you know their children. And they are all extremely committed to all the kids throughout our state. The unique thing I think about our governor has been when he first was elected, he set a very ambitious platform for education. He wanted to cut the dropout rate in half. He wanted to reduce the achievement gap, and he wanted to double the number of post-secondary opportunities for all children in Colorado. And this is a governor who put his money behind his words. And so he established several commissions, the P20 commission, that led to bills that were passed over the last couple of legislative sessions that have made a meaningful difference in the lives of kids in Colorado. And now our state is poised to be one of the few states that really aligns with race to the top dollars. And we really have a big opportunity for our state to get millions of dollars to really start making a substantial difference in the lives of our children. So I just want to echo Senator Tapia's comments that this is a governor who not only passionately cares about our children, but has put money, dollars, resources, people. He's hired extremely capable people to lead the Colorado Department of Education with Dwight Jones and more recently Rico Munn. These are people who really passionately care about the future of our state and the investment in our children. And a governor who has such great integrity and doesn't just do this for political expediency, but because he knows the future of our state is so dependent on the future of our children. So it's been an honor to work with the governor in various capacities, but more importantly in support of his re-election. And we're going to win. So I'd like to introduce Paul Senville. Paul has been a great mentor and supporter, served in the legislature, but for me has been a great mentor in his role in the Denver Public Schools, and so now he'll say a few words.
Thank you very much. Normally they give us written remarks, but I have to dispense with that, and I'll tell you a quick story about why we are here and I am here for the re-election of Governor Bill Ritter. When Roy Romer and called myself and some other people from North Denver, the last meeting he had to appoint the vacancy for the Denver District Attorney's Office, we went round and round for about an hour and a half. And he looked at all of us and he says, the problem with Bill Ritter is he is not a politician. And he stuck to that and stuck to that. And the issue is, he really isn't a politician. Bill Ritter is a committed person for the state of Colorado and for the citizens of this great state. He looks at the issues, he looks at the people, and he calls it like it is. You may not agree with him on these issues. I know I haven't all the time. I know labor hasn't all the time. But I know the people of this state can thank their lucky stars because they have a man who is in charge of this state who will make the tough decisions on the budget and for the people of this state on education, on the environment, but more in particularly for the Hispanics of this state of Colorado. He has talked to us, he listens to us, he works with us, and he agrees with us most of the time. But all the time, no. But you don't need all the time agreement. I would rather have somebody there with me 90% of the time who's a Democrat than a Republican who is 100% against me. And that's what we have to look for, people. That's why it's so crucial that we as Hispanics get behind Bill Ritter and his re-election campaign. On behalf of John Salazar, who could not make it, he asked me to convey to all of us, all of you, and the people of this state, to let us get behind the man who will lead this state back to a great state as it was, and will continue to be, but who will truly give us honest government the way it has been and should be. I now give you Bill Ritter.
So thank you very much for coming today, and to the people behind me, I would say I'm tremendously humbled. If you know this group that's assembled here today, they are people who have really given their life's work to improving this state. And many of them have a focus on the Latino community, but I would say by and large these people share the vision that I have, and the value that I have is that we are best when we all move forward together. So it's an honor to stand with a group of Latino leaders that have this many years of work on behalf of the state, on behalf of the people of the state, and to just look at you and tell you that I thank you and that I am truly humbled by that. To Senator Sandoval, to Teresa Pena, Senator Tapia, thank you for your remarks. Thanks for the introduction. And you know, Paul is right when he says that we have not always agreed. But I really believe that there is so much common ground in how we all view this state. This is this great state, the state of Colorado. And there are people behind me whose families, while I'm a native and a third generation Colorado, whose families were here long, long before my grandfather was born in Loveland, Colorado. And what I will tell you is they have these deep roots that provide a commitment to the people of this state and to moving the state forward and ensuring that it remains a great place. But it won't remain a great place unless everybody is able to move forward together. And that's the vision that I think we share from the very beginning when we articulated in 2006 the Colorado Promise. The Colorado Promise was about fulfilling the promise of this state to everybody. And not just to one group or another group, or trying to divide the haves and the have-nots. It was about everybody. And that's the vision that we share. And it's born of my own sense of being raised here, of having a mother that has 32 grandkids and another 13 great-grandkids here, and their deep roots in this state and this community. And we don't get that without a vision. We don't get to where we need to get to in moving the state forward without this shared vision. And that vision is about economic opportunity for all, not just economic opportunity for some, but for all. And in 21st century economic opportunity, we've had some great job announcements in the last couple of days, but those things that we go out and affirmatively do to bring 21st century industries here or grow them here, those are jobs that should be available to everybody. And that's our vision. We don't get there without an education system that adequately educates everybody and that does our level best to help them reach their God-given potential. And to Teresa's remarks, we've always said education is fundamental to all the successes that we'll have in this state. Education and the things that we can do as it relates to education reform are fundamental to it. There's a lot of contrast between myself and the person who's sort of the nominal Republican opponent in this race, although there's still two of them in it, but there's a lot of contrast. If you look at the contract with Colorado and their notion that education should be about a focus on homeschooling or a focus on, you know, these different kinds of programs that at the end of the day don't really go in and meaningfully reform education. I'm an agnostic about what we do to really reform the education system as long as it's about student learning. And at the end of the day, I think this group behind me, again, shares this notion it has to be about student learning. And the things that we've done to attack the dropout rate, to attack the achievement gap, to look at the graduation rates and know that we can double the number of diplomas or certificates. Those things are about building an education system that provides for an opportunity for all. Final thing I'll say is on healthcare reform. We didn't wait for the federal government to pass healthcare reform. We passed the Healthcare Affordability Act last year. There's going to be another 100,000 people who will be insured as a result of that. Latinos and Latinas are disproportionately uninsured. If you go into the San Luis Valley, their uninsurance rate is at about 1 out of every 4 people, heavily Latino or Latina. When we do the things that we do to tackle big problems, we do them for everybody in the state, but there is a disproportionate benefit oftentimes to people from communities of color. And so again, it's about thinking of ways to build the safety net. It's about thinking of ways to tackle problems that matter to all the people. And at the end of the day, if you look again at the passion and the compassion standing behind me for the Latino community, I'm humbled by it, but I believe that we're all here together today because we share a vision that isn't about a race, it isn't about ethnicity. At the end of the day, it's about people and it's about the promise of the state. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for your part.